in high definition, 1 hour earlier. This is Fox Wilmington News at 10.
We're confident we're going to get the neighborhoods restored, but we need their help.
Operation Tranquility law enforcement and community leaders are stepping up efforts to end gang violence in Wilmington. Alone and alive, the lone survivor of the Granite Mountain Hotshots crew is identified.
I was in my room, too scared to come out of my room.
And calls for help. Hear from the resident who found a gun and blood in his home after a home invasion. But we begin with an update to some breaking news you first heard on Fox Wilmington News at 6:30. Just coming into our newsroom, another person dies in a drowning-related incident in Brunswick County. That makes 3 total just today, the first in Ocean Isle Beach. Authorities tell us a father and a son got caught in a rip current while swimming. The son made it to shore okay, but the father did not. We don't have his name yet, but we do know that he was 72 years old. And then in Sunset Beach, officials say Marianne Galway was caught in a rip current with another person. Her husband, Edward Galway, and another man, Mitchell McLean, went to help her. McLean, a chief district court judge of the 23rd District in Wilkesboro area, he actually died. And within the hour, we've learned that Mrs. Galway also died. She had gone into cardiac arrest and was taken to the hospital, but did not make it. Mr. Galway was released from the hospital.
And Nikki, I think because of today's events, the National Weather Service has gone ahead and upgraded the risk of rip currents tomorrow for south-facing beaches like those in Brunswick County to high, and east-facing beaches like Pleasure Island, Wrightsville Beach, Topsail Island, a moderate risk of rip currents for tomorrow. So swimmers, extreme caution for tomorrow. But a lot of good stuff in the weather, like a quiet radar, the Doppler radar beam intercepting some storms near Charleston. They're not headed our way. Just a few isolated showers overnight tonight into tomorrow. For the most part for your Independence Day, though, partly sunny skies. Tomorrow's temperatures growing deep into the 80s for highs. Currently, we're in the mid and upper 70s across southeastern North Carolina. Coming up in the full forecast, we'll take more detailed approach on your beach conditions for tomorrow, run down some river flood warnings, and the 7 days also coming up in a few minutes, Nikki.
Thanks, Gannon. Of course, we have you covered when it comes to severe weather or other major emergencies. And pretty soon, New Hanover County will step up its emergency notifications. Months after our initial report on the county's reverse 911 system, New Hanover County is almost ready. We learned that August 1st is the scheduled started date for anyone to add their contact info for emergency notifications. Police in Wilmington say the ongoing gang problem is no secret in the city. We've covered the shootings and violence for weeks now. And with some help from the FBI, the DEA, and the ATF, our local patrol is upping the ante. News at 10 reporter Craig Reck tells us how police plan to get rid of the gangs in Wilmington. Craig.
Nikki, Operation Tranquility should bring back the peace to neighborhoods in Wilmington that haven't had a break in weeks. First, we saw more police in some of these neighborhoods out on patrol, and now we can expect more activity from them. The captain in charge says this operation is a priority. Violence and gun problems are a priority here. Officers looking for high-ranking gang members and details on any open cases. The plan is to keep this up for about 30 days, but I'm told the task force will stay as busy as it needs to for as long as it needs to. Captain Jim Verone says they'll go beyond the communities like Hillcrest and Creekwood.
But there are communities in between that have also suffered because of this. It's not just public housing. And we're going to go wherever our investigation takes us. So whether that's in the city or outside the city, we're going to go wherever it takes us.
Along with the state and federal agencies involved with all of this, an assistant district attorney is part of this task force. This ADA will make sure whoever is arrested faces charges in whatever court, state or federal, with the most prison time. Reporting live in the studio, Craig Reck, Fox Wilmington News at 10.
Thanks, Craig. We have new information now on a Wilmington home invasion. These 4 were arrested and charged in connection to the invasion. The home invasion happened around midnight in the 1900 block of Caldwell Avenue. When officers arrived, they found a shotgun and blood, and at one point, someone in the home shot one of the would-be robbers. But it didn't take long for police to find them. They were in a car nearby. 911 callers said they actually heard the gunshot.
My son was in the bag, and he came. Somebody came up to him with a shotgun, and they came in, busted the door. I don't know what they were trying to do, but the shotgun went off in my house. It's bullets in the house. The shotgun is left in my house, and a baseball cap.
All 4 face burglary and robbery charges and a second-degree kidnapping charge. A warrant has been issued for Jamar Jordan. He was the one shot by a resident. And we've learned a woman who hit a child riding his scooter yesterday has been charged with driving while intoxicated. This is Ashley Burke. She's 20 years old. Authorities say she hit Landon Greer on Chattooga Place last night. Now, in addition to the DWI charge, Burke is also charged with consumption by person under 21. The child is expected to be okay. And new tonight, authorities arrested 2 men after a chase in Whiteville. Police say Deandra Johnson told them she got into a fight with her boyfriend, Deshad Maltzby. She says he took her rental car without permission after an assault. Police later found the car and attempted to pull it over when Maltzby and Andre Shipman took off. They eventually lost control of the car and hit a pole, fleeing on foot. But police caught up to the men quickly. One tripped in a hole. The other couldn't run very fast, police said, because of his baggy pants. A woman in Wilmington is behind bars after a big drug bust. Jane Johnson was arrested and charged with 3 counts of possession to sell, with intent to sell and deliver heroin, and 1 count of hindering and delaying an officer. Police found 10 bags of heroin and $1,500 in cash. Investigators made the arrest after complaints from neighbors about some drug activity near the intersection of South Kerr Avenue and Kimberly Way. An update tonight on the effort to keep inmates from temporarily leaving jail to visit their homes. District attorneys across the state asked Governor Pat McCrory to do away with the program completely. Instead, he approved some changes. Now victims will know anytime an inmate goes on home leave, sex offenders and anyone serving life in prison without parole are banned from the program. Ariel Castro, made another appearance in court today. He's charged with 329 counts of kidnapping, rape, and various other charges for holding 3 women captive in his Ohio home for nearly a decade. Today, he was found competent to stand trial. Castro's next hearing is scheduled for July 24th. Jury selection will begin around August 5th. And this just came across the wires, but tonight we know the wildfire in Arizona that killed 19 firefighters is now 45% contained. Now, Brendan McDonough, he's the lone survivor of the Granite Mountain Hotshots crew. He was acting as the crew's lookout and was driving the unit's truck as they battled the fast-moving fire on Sunday. 19 of his team members did not survive. And the vehicles used by the crew were moved from the fire lines earlier today. They were driven away in a procession. Investigators are still trying to figure out what exactly caused their deaths. The investigation will focus on whether the crew was aware of the forecast and if they created an escape route. And as we continue here on Fox Wilmington News at 10, some tips on ways to keep your family safe while celebrating the 4th of July holiday. And new ways credit card companies are pushing to get new business and reward you for paying on time. Those stories and more, we'll be right back.
You're watching Fox Wilmington News at 10, 1 hour earlier.
Well, if you plan on celebrating the 4th in Wilmington tomorrow, there's some street closures and some parking arrangements you'll need to hear. Here's a look at all those closed locations. Water Street is going to close at 1:30 p.m. tomorrow. Chestnut Street between Front and 3rd, well, they close at 5. And streets west of 3rd towards the river are going to close at 6 once all of the street parking is full. Park on the side that you plan on leaving. North side traffic will be directed towards MLK Parkway and Isabel Holmes Bridge. South side traffic will be directed towards Market and Dawson Streets and the Cape Fear Memorial Bridge.
You can blow off your whole hand. You can cause very significant burns, all kinds of stuff with fireworks. They can be quite dangerous.
Need to supervise them.
Well, if you plan on lighting up some fireworks this holiday weekend, be careful. These dummies here show you just how dangerous it can be, and don't let children play with fireworks. Make sure others are out of range before you light any fireworks, and keep a bucket of water handy in case of fire.
I've seen people who've lost parts of their hands, their eyes, had severe burns. So fireworks are fun, and it's good to celebrate the birth of our country, but you really got to be careful with them because they're dangerous devices.
So basically, be safe. Another reminder to be safe when you celebrate. Authorities are going to be on the roads and the water looking for those disobeying the law. So have fun, but celebrate responsibly this holiday. And things are looking pretty good for the weekend. Things are going to dry up around the area. Chief Meteorologist Gannon Medwick has those details for you in just 2 minutes.
This schedule is like bouncing around. Like first we go here, then we go downstairs, then we come back here, and then we go upstairs, and it's just like everywhere.
From 3rd grade to the governor of Maryland. It sounds impossible, but after winning an essay contest, 8-year-old Jania Harrison got to take over the governor's job for a day. This is the first year for the governor's essay contest, and the state received more than 200 applicants from girls under the age of 13. Kind of impressive there. I like that story a lot. And then new tonight on our sister station WECT News at 11, a story you have to see to believe. It's all over the place tonight. A car swallowed up by a sinkhole. Yeah, that's a big sinkhole. The story behind this. New at 11 at the top of the hour.
Yeah, that's
massive.
That's just kind of scary to think that it's possible that you're just driving
Driving
around,
along.
and then all of a sudden, there's nothing underneath you.
Yeah.
Except you're in a hole looking up.
And the broken water main is kind of like continually insulting the car that
Yeah.
has already been insulted by the sinkhole.
I haven't seen the story. My guess, that probably has something to do with the sinkhole.
Yeah. Well, I remember the story from earlier. I believe the occupant was okay. So, I mean,
Yes,
we're talking about
occupant
this
is okay.
just kind of flippantly,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, I believe it was
Still
all right.
pretty scary regardless.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
Not a scary forecast, though.
No, it's getting better. We've been talking about that gradual, it's kind of an excruciatingly slow process to get to drier weather, but you can see clearly on a radar pattern that tropical moisture plume that had us directly in its sights for so many days. Now that has moved to the west. So really bad 4th of July of weather for our neighbors to the west. But for us, high pressure building in from the Atlantic, and that's causing rain chances to go down. We can celebrate that here locally. With highs tomorrow in the mid and upper 80s, driven by partial sunshine. Chance of a shower or storm, not 0, but up to 20% for tomorrow. About a 30 is what we'll put on that for Friday, 10% for Saturday and Sunday. We may actually be completely shower free, if you believe some of the computer models for Saturday and Sunday. But I mean, 10% pretty low there. Temperatures will be trending up, so that's a little bit of a cost there. I mean, the rain's been holding the temps down. We'll get some 90s back as we go through the weekend. Once again, the National Weather Service upgrading the rip current risk for south-facing beaches tomorrow, namely Brunswick County, to high, probably in light of today's rip currents, a little bit more robust than expected in some of those tragedies. Yeah, absolutely. So be safe in the surf tomorrow, and even on low risk rip current days, it's possible that there could be some trouble. Anytime there's breaking waves, that could be an issue. So we want everybody to be safe tomorrow.
Got to be safe in the water and on the roads.
That's it.
While celebrating your 4th of July holiday. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.